Hey guys, Harrison back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to Dre Talks Episode 9, YouTube Frustrations. The series where I talk about things not necessarily sporting related while playing games I don't normally play on here, apart from this one, which is obviously FIFA 13. So I just do a lot of that, but not so much now or anything like that. But yeah, just be doing some Manchester United career mode gameplay in here. Got quite a few nice Bundesliga players in here. Gareth Bale's in there. I hope he signs for us in real life next season and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the gameplay. While in the meantime, I am going to talk about a few things on YouTube at the moment that is frustrating me. And, of course, addressing a situation that picked up earlier in the week. Because there was a development in that story which I want to kind of respond to briefly as well. But YouTube annoys me sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I respect you guys as viewers and audiences too much for me to lie to you. In the extent of sometimes this can be a really a frustrating way of going about things, because we're all trying to grow our channels, we're all trying to get our foot in the market, we're all trying to grow on YouTube and try to appeal to as many people as possible, or in some people's cases try and make more money. You know, whatever your intentions or motivations are, that's down to you pretty much. So, you know, you get the general rule of thumb here. The way YouTube is run is frustrating, because, and the reason that is that Google get behind all the big guys and it's not fair on everybody else. It irritates me a lot. And I think Arav mentioned this on Twitter when Pole Position did their video, and that's the bit where I got misconstrued when I was talking about Dre Talks Episode 8. It was nothing to do with Mickey Motion's comment. I'll get to that towards the end of the video. But I misconstrued what Arav said in the video, talking about how these big companies are focused purely on monetary gain. And it's exactly how YouTube is run now these days. You see, I said back in December on Twitter that 2013 would be the year there'd be a 10 million subscriber account on YouTube somewhere. And it's going to happen. Like, Smosh is on the brink of being the first channel with 10 million subscribers. Like, remember back in like 2008 when getting to 1 million was considered a massive deal, when like Fred Fiddlehorn got up there, and then Smosh and Higa quickly followed suit, and we had like 1 million subscriber channels. And that was a big deal back then. Not anymore. We've now got, you know, the guys like the Smoshes, the Higas, the epic rap battles of history, the epic meal times, the Ray William Johnsons, the Pew Pew Dies of the world. All these massive, super elite YouTube accounts. That's how it is right now. And Google gets behind these guys. And the reason why that is because they want to make more money. That's why they bought out YouTube in the first place. It's the way it's run is that Google focuses its search engines and its time towards the bigger channels. I'm not mad at them for this. If I was running a business like YouTube, I would do the exact same thing. I'll give you a comparison, because I used to study business studies. Imagine you own Marks and Spencer's, and you might have like 500 branches across the United Kingdom, for example. Now, not all of them are going to be profitable. Not all of them are going to make the same amount of profit, or maybe make a loss every year. There's something called profit centers and there's loss centers. Like, profit centers are the ones that make the money. Like, they are the places that make the biggest profits. So, for example, there could be one in the middle of London somewhere, in central London, that makes a ridiculous amount of money. Or it could be one that's somewhere in the countryside, which is really obscure, and it's not going to make as much money. It might even make a loss every year. Not every place is going to have the same levels of profit, for example. If you're a business, you're going to focus on your profit centers, aren't you? Like, you might send exclusive products to the London stores, for example, because they're the ones that make the most money. And you might not give as much time or effort as attention to the companies that are making or the branches that are making a loss. It's common business practice 101. You focus on what's making you your money. And that's how YouTube runs with all of its YouTube accounts on the internet. That's exactly the same principle. The guys who make the most money are going to get the most attention from YouTube. Especially now they've just rolled out this new paid subscription service for some of their channels, like the WWE, TNA, the UFC, and I think there's like 25 channels you now have to pay money to subscribe to every month. Crazy. Like, YouTube's got to a point where some of its videos are now no longer free. Like, how much more money do you guys want to make? It's like the Tory government we're in right now. It's like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And as a channel with only like 2,900 or so subscribers in my case, don't get me wrong, I'm a top 10 channel in my sector of motorsport, for motorsport gaming, and I understand that, and I'm very proud of that. I'm not trying to shun the guys who watch me or anything like that. I love every single one of you. Trust me on this, and I'm sure you guys know that. But being a middle-level channel like me, it's a frustrating thing because it's so hard to grow your channel. The comparison I use it to is, if you're a wrestling fan and you watch the WWE, you'll know what I'm talking about if you know the industry a little bit here and there. Like, imagine if you go back to the Raw roster a couple of years ago when you had John Cena, you had Randy Orton, you had CM Punk, you had Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Those were the top-tier money-making guys in the company. Those were the guys that were at the pinnacle of the company, making the most money, getting all the big pay-per-view matches, all the merchandise sales. If you're someone like a Dolph Ziggler, or a Zack Ryder, or someone in the middle level, it is so difficult to break that ceiling of top-tier guys. It's a phrase known as breaking the glass ceiling. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of that. But it is so hard to do that sometimes. And that's why channels can sometimes be so stagnated or so average, you could say, or, you know, they struggle to grow and they only reach a certain level before they stall. And yeah, it can be frustrating as a middle tier level YouTuber sometimes, because a part of you thinks, like, what am I doing wrong here? You doubt yourself a little bit as a video maker. You know, you question, what are you doing wrong? And then, you know, you realise as well that sometimes it can frustrate you and it can get under your skin, because it's like, ethically you think, like, shouldn't it be the same opportunities for everybody? But then you realise that just wouldn't be feasible, and that's just not how a business would work. It just wouldn't work that way. Don't get me wrong, I'm so proud of this community and how so many channels now are hitting milestones and getting up there, like Ryan Lely 3, who's now got over 1,500 subscribers, F1 Racing Mad's near 1,000, Rapid Scorpion, who's been on around the corner 5 times, is getting all kinds of great commentary. He's now working with FSR and Formula Sim Racing. He's doing a terrific job over there. In general, he's just doing he's doing a terrific job out there. You know, Elusive Kev, one of my favourite guys to watch, and they're all growing at their own rate. And you know, I'm glad I'm finally starting to see some of the things I was talking about in my career mode earlier in the year when I was talking in, like, during F1 2011's kind of era, when I was saying I wish there'd be like 5 channels with 10,000 subscribers rather than one guy with like 200,000. But it's just one of those crazy things where YouTube will get behind the channels that are growing really quickly because they make them the most money, and they'll give them more money so they can grow faster, and it makes them more money, and it's an infinite feedback loop that goes on and on and on. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. For example, KSI, he's had his YouTube account for about 3 years. It took him about 3 years to get to 1 million subscribers. Then, it takes him about 2 months to get to 2 million subscribers. That's extreme, ridiculous growth. See what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous sometimes. And it doesn't help when subscriber count is not a true measure of channel size. I say this because it's frustrating as well, because I have nearly 3,000 subscribers, using myself as an example here. Oh. And the reason why I say it's not a true measure of channel size or success is because people don't watch you on YouTube, even if they're subscribed to you. YouTubers are lazy people. I'll be the first person to admit this because I'm guilty of this myself. I subscribe to people and then sometimes I just can't be asked to watch their content. I'm sure many people here secretly feel the same way. Like, it is a little bit frustrating and deflating to see, yeah, you have nearly 3,000 people subscribed to you, yet only about 300 people actually watch your videos every time they come out. That's like 1 in every 10 viewers. 1 in every 10 subscribers are actually watching you. That is a little bit deflating. Like, where's the other 90% of you gone then? Like, why subscribe if you're not going to watch? It's just, you know, it's a little frustrating. Maybe they get around to it another time or something like that, or whatever, but I know people have their own lives to lead and whatnot as well, but just in general, you know, the ratios aren't right. Like, for example, I use Machinima Sports channel, which is dead as the dodo at this point, but they have like 450,000 subscribers and like 5,000 people are watching their pack opening videos. They constantly slam on their main page. Like, well, that's not even like 1%. See what I mean? Like, subscribers aren't a true measure of channel size. It's just a measure. It's not a particularly good one though, to be honest. Like, I'd look at more like average video count and audience retention. I think there are better measures of doing it, but subscriber count can lie to you sometimes. That's what I'm saying, and that's another reason why I'm frustrated with the whole YouTube thing at the moment. But of course, there's one more thing I've got to talk about, and that's Mickey Motions again for the second time in a week, and hopefully the last time I've got to mention this. I may not ever utter his name on this channel again, to be honest with you, because I'm tired of the guy. I really am. He made a half-an-hour video yesterday. He says he intends to only keep it up for a few days. Why, I don't know. He apparently doesn't want to start drama or anything like that, which, of course, leads to a half-an-hour video about him defending himself against me and Affleck. And I watched it and I was more confused than anything else. Like, I'm not going to talk on the Affleck bit. I'll leave that to him or whatever he wants to do with that situation. But me personally, I felt like the whole thing sent out mixed messages. Like, he says I'm a cool guy. He says I've always been helpful towards other people in the community. He says that, you know, I doubt he would do things like record Skype calls. So he was complimentary towards me as a person, yet accused me of picking on him. Doesn't he realise that kind of sends out a mixed message and weakens his own argument? Like, seriously, it's ridiculous. Like, saying things like, oh, but, you know, he's a nice guy and blah, blah, he wouldn't do something like that. But, like, why would you praise me if you're trying to defend yourself in this drama-filled situation that you felt the need to make a 30-minute video on? It just seems like he's sending out mixed messages. And to clarify a few things, in Dre Talks episode 8, I could have used a lot of people as examples in the video. I chose Mickey's because it was the strongest argument I could make to emphasize and back up my own point. Like, whenever you write an essay in school, for example, people should know this because they're doing GCSEs right now. When you have a point you'd like to make, you have to explain yourself. You have to defend your point by using evidence and using facts. Mickey took himself even further than everybody else did on that whole situation of pole position in their video. Not only did he talk about it on Twitter, like a lot of people did, like him, Arav, Alex Zafro, Valdudes, etc. He took it to another level by going on that video and then saying, oh, the F1 community can do this, you know, we can do it better than the FIFA guys, we drive without assists. He took it to another level, more than any of the other guys I could have mentioned. He had the strongest evidence to back up the point I was trying to make in that video about how you can be perceived and how you come across. Now, according to Mickey and some of his fan base, he felt like that was like that was being picked on, and it wasn't. It was just me trying to justify and validate the point I was making during a video covering a larger and broader, broader topic. There we go. But the situation was blown right out of proportion. His fan base reacted to that like a dog on heat. Bombarded my video with about 37 dislikes, and you know, a lot of people. A lot of his fans, and I put them in inverted commas, I still believe many of the accounts he created himself. And I can explain this because the Miss MBB account, for example, has a profile picture that was borrowed from an Asian women's site. And not to mention, when some of the people were coming out with comments defending Mickey, 2 minutes later I'd refresh the page and it would have 11 likes on it. Like, are that many fans hawking my video? It can't be, because the video only had like 350 views in total. Barely more than the average Dre Talks video even does. So I doubt that many people were actually stalking the video, looking to thumbs up people's comments. So I still say the whole thing was orchestrated. by Mickey as some kind of smear campaign, because it carried over to my online racer video I brought out the next day, and the Miss MBB account again, for example, went again, came back and kept the situation going by commenting again on that video, which I had to remove because I didn't want all these hateful comments, and I didn't want this video to become some kind of battleground for people's logic or his fan base. Like, some of the comments I was getting was vile, and I do mean like seriously hurtful towards not just me but my entire audience. For example, I saw comments I had to delete, for example, saying that one of the accounts that may or may not have been created by Mickey, that saying that people who agreed with my point were retards, and someone with Asperger's syndrome or someone who has a mental handicap, for example, that's incredibly insulting. And I blew up when I saw that comment because I was like, what? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And other people were saying, like, the Miss MBB account said that I was using my leverage to try and harbour a deal with Pole Position, which, again, is ridiculous considering they've never hired an F1 director before. So why would they start with me? There's bigger examples they could use, like Athlete or Into the Barrier or Alex Zaffaro or Andrew Bortz, etc., etc. So the thing is that ultimately I was attacked for having an opinion which a fan base didn't like. Now, using the words picked on is something that implies that, like, I was bullying him. Now, I really don't think I was bullying him at all. You know, I'm honest. I give my honest opinion on things. That's how I've always run my channel. That's how I've always done these things. I'm not afraid to talk about topics that aren't, you know, that may be taboo or that may involve people or potentially, you know, cause people to have awkward feelings and whatnot, because that's just how I am. I'm not afraid to tackle these situations head on. That's just how I am as a person. So I found the whole situation was, I think Mickey just and his fan base just blew the whole thing out of proportion and out of whack when it really didn't need to be. And basically, like I said, ultimately I was attacked for having an opinion. It's as simple as that. In its purest form, when you boil it down, that's what happened. I stated an opinion in a video which Mickey and his fan base didn't like, and they reacted to it. Now, you know, he accused me of being a hypocrite and then bombed me on Twitter, which he later apologised for yesterday, which I didn't even bother responding to. Bottom line is this: I'm not going to apologise for having an opinion, and I don't think I should be insulted for having an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. There's no such thing as a right opinion or a wrong opinion. It's just your take on a situation. You shouldn't be attacked for having one, even if you disagree with it. If you disagree with it, that's fine. You can say you disagree with it. But there's no point to take it into personal insults. That's out of order, that's disrespectful, and that's wrong. And that is what the issue I had with the whole situation. And, you know, he accused me of basically, you know, trying to set him up and, you know, setting up Athlete to fail him. And, you know, there was some vile and stupid shit that was being discussed as a result of that, which I really wasn't a fan of. And quite frankly, I've had enough of it. So I'm not going to deal with Mickey Emotions anymore. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. Let him do his thing. He's got his passionate fan base. That's absolutely fine. And I applaud him for having such dedicated fans, because I'm sure they're all good people. And like I said on Twitter, and I'll say it here again, people on here are intelligent enough to form their own opinions. That's all I've got to say. Believe whatever you want to believe. I will do my thing, he will do his, and I'm sure we'll all grow together in a happy circle and we'll all make good videos. Because at the end of the day, isn't that really what it's all about? And with that, I shall leave this episode off here. Talk to me about the whole YouTube situation if you want. Love to hear your comments as usual. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.
Takes the shot off. Great opportunity for a great player, but not a great finish.
No, 9 times out of 10, I think we'd have seen the net bulge in there. This was the one time.